welcome to Kingdom Marriage, the Faith Series, Episode 2. If you're new here or haven't watched my first YouTube video, definitely check it out in the description down below. So, after I posted my first video, I asked God, what do you want me to speak on next concerning this whole kingdom marriage thing? And He told me, am I a wife? And at first I was like, sounds like a good topic. This was actually something that He had taught me during the 21-day Daniel fast, in which He revealed to me that, I need to start walking or living with the revelation that I am already a wife, that He is my husband, from Isaiah chapter 54 verse 5, which says, your real husband is the one who made you. His name is the Lord All-Powerful. The Holy One of Israel is your protector, and He is the God of all the earth. And He tied this to the popular verse on Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22, which says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and finds favor with the Lord. And He said, He revealed that if my kingdom spouse is finding a wife, then who am I a wife to? I'm a wife to the Lord. And, that was mind-blowing then. So I was like, sounds like a good topic. Good. But first, let's focus on this Mombasa trip. This was something that I had actually prayed for months prior. I needed some time to decompress and, just kind of redirect. And I thought I needed a beach holiday, especially that time everyone was going to the coast. So it was mainly FOMO. And even as I was praying about it, I had this silent expectation that surely this is where I was going to meet my kingdom spouse. I wanted to be romanced at the beach. So anyway, when the trip came about, I was like, this is God's blessing. I was so ready for it. And it actually happened so suddenly. Like in a span of 3 days. On Monday, it was confirmed by my dad. Monday night, the tickets were booked. On Tuesday, I went to do my nails and, get myself holiday ready. I spent the whole night just packing. And I'm always extra on trips. Like, I had 3 outfits for each day. So you can imagine I slept like two hours before my flight. I was so exhausted by the time we got to the coast. Nightstands, 2 lamps to the side, and a double bed or a twin bed, which I love. Then to the other side of the wall, we have this small desk and chair, where I think I'll just be taking my coffee and maybe having some devotionals there, and a desk and a mirror and a TV. So below the TV, we have this table or stand, built-in stand, and right below it, we have our coffee station. So this is just basically my coffee station. Right below it I have some water and a fridge. Then we have a balcony. About 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. So, and the pool is right to my left. And the gardens and more rooms to my right. Day 2 was slightly better, but I was equally as exhausted as the first day because I spent the whole night editing my second YouTube video, which you should all check out. Shameless plug, because I spent like quality holiday rest time editing that room tour video. So when I was exhausted, I slept for like 3 hours, had breakfast, and clearly from this video you can see that I could tell that my vlog would be mainly me eating. But what's new? Well, at least this day I had some me time with God in the morning. Then I went to town. I had an evening beach stroll where I met a really great boat operator called James, and we had the best conversation about like purpose, friends, and it was really Christ-centered, which was so beautiful. The video I spent the whole night editing was actually taking ages to upload, but this was because of the poor Wi-Fi at the hotel. It actually took me like 3 days to post that room tour video. Day 3, I chose joy and rest. By the way, I was doing a short devotional from the YouVersion Bible app by Pastor Michael Todd called Marked. So if anyone is interested, check it out. So anyway, like I said, I chose joy and rest. This was going to be the official start of my holiday, and I was going to enjoy myself. I had a whole day planned out. Well, I was just going to have some fun at the pool and, relax near the beach and whatever I found interesting that day. So, of course, I had to have a hearty breakfast. But, the previous night, I'd actually had an emotional breakdown in my room. Like, for some reason, once I got to my room, I was just feeling all types of sad. So I chose to spend time with God in worship, and I ended up crying the whole night. And I thought it was me just being sleep deprived. So I slept early, but from the amount of pastries I took that morning, it should have been an indicator of what the real reason or the real problem was. So anyway, I went to the pool, had a great time, relaxed at the beach. But once I got back to my room to prepare for lunch, shock on me, like it was that time of the month, ladies. My periods were here 2 days earlier, actually 3 days earlier, and I was so disappointed. I was like, why, Lord, why is this trip not going the way I thought it would go? And actually, that was what I was like crying about the previous night. But like I said, I chose joy that morning. So I was like, maybe God wants me to spend time with Him in His Word. This is actually something I wrote in my diary concerning that afternoon. I spent time with God that afternoon at a somewhat secluded space around the hotel, overlooking the beach, just reflecting on what He had been teaching me and also meditating on Psalm 27. I kept crying every time David would ask God not to turn his back on him, and I felt like God was wasn't hearing me. We weren't connecting on this trip because why wasn't I relaxed and connecting with him in his beauty? I also cried when I read the verse on being confident about seeing the goodness of God on the earth and waiting on him confidently. Clearly, the holiday was turning to be a bust. I wasn't even mingling with the guests. I was tired and moody. I didn't want to meet my kingdom spouse then, and that made me feel sad because I expected that I would meet my spouse at the coast. I was praying to go on this holiday for this particular reason. Imagine how romantic that would be that I met my spouse on holiday at the beach and I proceeded to have the best holiday ever. Lol. Life. But anyway, at least my cousin came and visited me that evening.
At least like at night we get to enjoy. I knew it. Me. It just looked funny. If it looks funny, it probably tastes funny.
I spent the rest of the holiday looking for chill spots to spend alone time with God and also trying to make the best of the remaining time I had. It wasn't until I came back home when I was asking God, what was that? What was the lesson I had to learn from that experience in the coast? What was the reason that, I understood that I hadn't fully submitted my expectations to God, like the when and how of how I wanted God to move in this particular situation or promise that He had for me. And I went back to the topic He gave me earlier on Am I a Wife? Like I mentioned before, my man will find a wife because I am first a wife to God. And I know some of you might still be wondering, but what distinguishes you? What makes you wife material? What makes you wifeable? Is it me knowing how to cook, clean, and do other chores in and around the house? These are skills that I think every adult should strive to have. Or maybe you subscribe to the current cultural media trend of your sexual prowess or how good you are in bed is what's going to get you that ring, is what's going to, make you a wife, which time and again has proven to be a false and damaging narrative. You only need to look at the lives of the celebrities who perpetrate this message to see the truth of this. Well, you might be a Christian and you're thinking that one can only be considered a wife if they're a Proverbs 31 woman. Well, as Christian ladies, we all aspire to be the Proverbs 31 woman. But from the chapter, we see that it says, a wife of noble character, who can find? So she's first a wife, and that's the base level that we're looking for, becoming that wife and gaining the noble character along the way. If God considers Himself our real husband, then what should we do to be His wife? Well, the answer is submission. The Bible gives us clear instruction on what to do as wives in a marriage. In Ephesians chapter 5 verse 22, it talks about, wives, be subject to your own husbands as a service to the Lord. And Colossians chapter 3 verse 18 says, let every wife be supportive and tenderly devoted to her husband, for this is a beautiful illustration of our devotion to Christ. Both verses clearly speak on how we need to be submitted to our husbands. And how can we be submitted to a flawed man if we are not submitted to a perfect Christ? It's through our posture of submission and total surrender to God that our character is molded. Be noble like that of the Proverbs 31 woman. God is calling us at this moment to submit to his leadership. He said left, right, right, left. God wants to bless us, and he wants his blessings to be timely. He's the giver of every good and perfect gift. Just like how this trip was sudden, I know so many people have received a word on how God is going to bless you suddenly. And he wants you at a point where you're submitted to him so that you can be obedient to how he told you to prepare to see his sudden move. He wants you to surrender your when and how, to put you in a place of peace and contentment, to be able to recognize the counterfeits, what seem good on the surface but ultimately is not from God. I find it interesting that many ministers and prophetic voices have been teaching on Esther during this time. Even some of the prophetic channels that speak on kingdom marriages have been named after Esther. And how fitting this is, because Esther exemplifies submission and humility. In Esther chapter 2 verse 15, it says, "When the turn came for Esther to go to the king, she asked for nothing other than what Haggai, the king's eunuch who was in charge of the harem, suggested." This shows her submission. She humbled herself and followed the instructions of the one person who knew the king best, the person in charge. Verse 17 goes on to tell us that the king was attracted to Esther among all the other girls. She found favor with the king. You are a wife to God, the King of Kings, so you have found favor. And that is why when your kingdom spouse finds you, he will find favor, because your favor will be overflowing from your submission to your real husband. This is my brother's room. So it's a mess right now, but this is just the coffee station, the fridge, the closet. I was staying with my dad, so he has 2 single beds. I have their TV over here, him, a couch which I didn't have, their desk, and their view. Their view was way better than mine. It's actually an actual sea view. So yeah. Hi. Hello friends, I just wanted to make a short outro for the Mombasa vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I wasn't the best at vlogging, but I tried my utmost. So anyway, I hope I'll see you in the next video that I post, and hopefully I'll get better at vlogging.